What's up, guys? Name's Dewey, but better known as that Bionic guy on Instagram. I just wanted to tell you guys about my experience with my crash, and I do want to thank Nobleman for this helmet because it definitely did its job. It saved my life because without this helmet, it would have been a whole lot worse. Like I would have lost, or I would have fractured or even broken my left orbital bone, and a lot more surgery. But what basically happened was that I was riding down a road. It was a smooth asphalt road, and typically when I hit 30 miles an hour, that's when I start getting speed wobbles. But for some particular reason, on this day, going 30 miles an hour, I didn't feel the speed wobble. So I was pretty confident that I could push it further. And when I hit 34, according to my my app, there was a little dip in the road that caused my board to initiate the speed wobbles. Now, going that fast, there was no way I could slow down, or even try to prevent the speed wobbles from getting any worse. So the only thing I could do was bail at that moment. Now, when I bailed, my board went off to the right, and when I fell, I tucked my arms in, and basically this elbow pad here, you can see the crack here, that's how hard I hit the pavement. Basically, I just have a few scratches, but aside from that, as soon as I hit the pavement, I landed on my left side, my left hip. There's quite a bit of swelling and bruising. Here, hang on. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, so it starts right there, gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Whew. Yeah. Thankfully for for the lower half of my body, I had motorcycle jeans on with built-in padding. And the jeans were Kevlar lined, so that definitely saved my lower half from scratches or any kind of abrasion. But then after my hips and my left arm hit the pavement, that's when my head bounced off the road, and so I'm so thankful for the quality of this build, just because as soon as I regained my equilibrium and tried to figure out where I was, what was going on, though I obviously still have my helmet on, the mouth guard here was still intact. It was disconnected a tiny bit, but that was pretty much it. Now the clear visor, it popped off, and that was the only thing that came off. And like I said, if I didn't have this helmet, I always wear a helmet, and I always try to promote wearing gear whenever you're riding, whether you're going fast or slow, doesn't matter. Accidents can happen, and anything is possible.
In your experience, you've been longboarding for a long time and everything,
Yeah,
right?
I've been longboarding for a little over 12 years, and I got into the e-skate scene about a year ago. And even from longboarding, I always wore a helmet. And this, I cannot praise this enough. This helmet literally saved me from any worse injuries. So, thank you, Nobleman. I cannot thank you enough for the quality of the build of this helmet, because if not for this, who knows what else could have happened.
Well, I can actually tell you what would have happened. Okay, guys, so I'm Mark. I'm the founder and leader of the DFW E-Skate Alliance, and on my full-time job, I'm an operating room nurse. I specialize in trauma, and one of the other specialties I do is brain and spine surgery. So I'll go over real quick of the things that could have happened if you didn't have this stuff on. Okay, so first off, as you can see here, the impact was on the left side of his head right there. So that would have fractured his left orbital bone right here. It would have misaligned his eye. Everything would have been out of line from his point of view. And also there's an impact right here, and the fact that this thing almost popped out indicates that he would have fractured his mandible. So his mouth would have had to get an ORIF, or open reduction internal fixation, which they would put screws and plates in. and maybe wire his mouth shut for a little bit. He would have to be eating, soft goods or whatnot. Okay, so here's the other thing. The main thing is his brain. Okay, this little spot right here. He would have fractured a lot of the parts in his skull. He would have gotten some bleeding, probably subarachnoid hemorrhaging. That's bleeding around the brain area. And when you bleed like that, it's uncontrolled bleeding, and so it takes up space inside the brain, and that puts pressure on your brain. And that would have been a life-threatening situation. Usually around those times, time is of the essence. Golden rule: if you can get it as quickly as possible to the hospital and get addressed, that'd be great. But Dewey, were you alone?
Yes.
Yeah, that would have screwed him over real bad. And then the other part here is, let me see your arm. So the fact that you landed on his arm and cracked that, if he didn't have that, he would have fractured his elbow. But honestly, that would have been the least of his worry compared to what's happening in his head. So that's pretty much the gist of it. But the workup, the surgery it does, I mean, it's gonna, if he survives it, he would have gone through a lot of rehab. Oh yeah.
And the scratches on the back.
Oh yeah, would have been nasty. I mean, we've had some skateboarders come in for surgeries that smacked their heads. Typically, the trainees are with the elderly people that fell and cracked their heads. So that's what would have happened. It would have been a lot of money. But, Dewey, what's the cost of this helmet?
This one is $280. It ranges depending on how you want it. So it can range from $280 up to $300.
Okay, so top side $300 for a helmet. I know a lot of y'all say, oh, that's pretty expensive. But the fact is, accidents do happen. So $300 compared to $100,000 surgery, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, figuratively and literally. Like, you want to buy a helmet. You want to invest on good quality products, and this has been proven to be a good quality and life-saving product. So, in other words, gear up, be safe, take precautions. Accidents do happen even to the experienced. Don't get all cocky and think you don't need one. Always gear up.
Yep.
Alrighty. Anything else you want to add?
Just practically reiterating what Mark said. Always gear up.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how fast or how slow you're going. Always gear up.
Yep.
It's better to live another day than far worse.
Actually, in fact, I mean, this actually is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I mean, why wouldn't you want to gear up? It looks really cool. But yeah, anyways, I guess that's all we got for you. If you got any questions, message either Dewey or Nobleman Tech. And, well, we'll see you out on the rides. Peace.